We would like to thank our amazing sponsor, Touring Plans Travel. Their destination specialists are experts in smart travel and are there to help you plan an amazing Disney vacation. Whether you are looking at Disney World, a Disney cruise, or anywhere in the world, they will book you an amazing vacation and it costs you nothing. Their services are completely free, so head over to touringplans.com/travel and tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney Cruise Line. Doug, it's a trip report and one of my trip reports.
Yes, I can't wait to dive in to what you did on board the Disney Wish. I'm really looking forward to it, Derek.
It was a great trip. I'm excited to talk about it on this week's kind of bonus episode that we're doing because I did talk about our Walt Disney World stay before. But yeah, it was phenomenal to get back on a cruise ship. And I got to give a shout out to one of our Patreons. He was on there with me, and that's Derek Huff. Great name, by the way. And thank you, Derek, for dropping off some gifts and just having some time on board.
You're a big fan of Huff, huh?
I am.
Yeah, Huff.
I get it.
Sorry, I'm good.
Anyway, and thank you to all of our Patreons. In fact, we had Matt Stout upgrade in our Patreon community. So thank you, Matt. And then thank you to all of our Patreons who support the show and get all the great bonus content, including the most embarrassing episode ever, which was on last week's episode. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that, Derek. All right. Let's read some Apple reviews. Well, not some, one. But thank you to everyone that leaves them. Thank you to everyone that listens so they can leave one. This one's from north of the border. It's from Canada, and it's by 12345 Duck 6789.
That is now my favorite ever name. Just letting you know.
Right? Just Duck right in the middle of the numbers. I don't know. Maybe I didn't read it right. Maybe it's 12,345 Duck 6,789. No?
No.
Okay.
I got it.
Off the rails.
Mighty Ducks,
Throw
let's
the life
go.
preserver. We're overboard. All right. One of the best. I have never left a podcast review, but for these guys, I had to. Their conversations are fun, lighthearted, and so informative. As I plan my first trip to WDW, this is my go-to source for Disney.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that review. It's great. Also, yay, Canada. I'm half Canadian. Yeah. But, yeah. Keep them coming. This is a good one.
That was a good review. Also, Derek, it makes me nervous when I read one like that. Like, I hope he has other sources too.
Than us?
Yeah, so they know that there's more than Pizza Rizzo at the Hollywood Studios and Pop-Tarts. And, like, more than Gaston Cinnamon Rolls. I just worry.
I'm sure they listen to others. But I'm glad they listen to us.
Yeah,
there you go.
Listen to us while reading a book.
Read the unofficial guide. There you go.
Go.
We're in there
cover
too.
Cover to cover.
And that'll get you everything. So, Doug, you have some news, speaking of cruises, in this week's episode that you want to share.
Yeah, so we are going to have a spin-off show. So it's not going to be the regular Rope Drop Radio feed. We're going to have a new show coming out in the next couple months. Hard to say when, but it's going to be Rope Drop Cruising. So if you really enjoy our cruise content, there's going to be more of it. And it's going to be me along with Michelle and lots of guests. That's going to be a goal, but we'll cover
and
cruise
like once
news.
A year, Derek.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, maybe even more. Who knows? Who knows what will happen when a show starts? But Rope Drop Cruising coming to a podcast player near you.
Yeah, Derek has learned quite a bit, and I think I said this on my last cruise report. I am a parks guy over a cruise guy.
Yeah, so let's start your trip report with set the stage. What is your cruising history, just so everybody knows where you're at?
This is my fourth cruise altogether, third on DCL. So I've been on the Dream and the Magic, and we thought, hey, let's do the Wish. It's a new ship. We had 2 fantasy cruises canceled because of COVID, so would have loved to have been on more for sure. But yeah, we're still newer, younger, silver in the Castaway Club. But we do enjoy Disney Cruise. I do, of course, like the parks a whole lot more, as we'll probably end up discussing throughout this show, because there are some areas of cruising that do not fit Derek's extroverted lifestyle. But I do enjoy it. And guess what, Doug? We already booked the 10% off, and we will do another one within the next year or so.
Just got to figure out where and when and how and what ship, where to do. Yeah,
We
all
know
all
what
the
ship we
options.
want. We know
Oh.
that's the thing. The ship we know
Wait.
is locked in.
Is it the fantasy?
Fantasy, because we
Okay.
had 2 of those canceled. My wife wants to do it. I want to do it. We have a couple friends who say it's their favorite ship. That is, no matter what, that is the ship we're getting on next.
I've said it's my favorite ship for a while.
Yep.
Now it's shifted to Magic, I think. I shift around. Usually my favorite ship is
Is
one
the
that
one
I'm
you're on?
on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, the Wish was my favorite ship for 3 days straight.
It was great for 4. I did 4 nights. You did 3.
4.
I
You
got
got me,
4.
yeah.
I did. I beat you by a day.
All right, well, let's get into this. Who all went? Because you have the father-daughter
Yep.
or daddy-daughter, as you say. I say father-daughter. It's a dialect thing. You're Canadian. I think that's where that comes from.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Derek,
And,
Doug, daddy, daughter. It's all a D thing for me.
See, I guess I like to. Yeah. Anywho, so it was the whole family,
Yep.
correct?
Yeah, all 5 of us went. So 10, 9, 4. Those are my kids' ages. And of course, my wife, who loves cruising, by the way, and is already, oh, you're lucky. She almost tried to book a cruise with Michelle tonight. So she has already texted me as we're like talking right now, 3 different itineraries, one that's almost 10 grand that I'm like, no, we're not doing that. She's like,
But you
we
got
get 10%
10%
off. Yes, I know,
Yeah,
honey.
the-
Yeah, that's safe. No.
The more expensive it is, Derek, the more you save.
Yeah, I'm well aware, but yeah. So if it was up to my wife, we'd be on another ship very, very soon. In fact, she has one over Christmas time she wants to do. I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
All right. Well, we're not going to bore anybody with the logistics of getting to the port.
We all got there. That's the
We
key.
got
We
there,
won. We got on board.
onto the ship. First impressions walking into not the atrium, but the Wish's Grand Hall, Derek.
Wow. Just wow. Probably one of the best jaw-dropping Walt Disney World moments I've had, or just Disney moments I've had. It's massive. It's exactly what they needed to do on a ship. It set the energy, the tone. It's the 3 stories. Yes, you have characters up there. I thought it was phenomenal and definitely the best way Disney Cruise has done to get you excited as soon as you get on board.
It was, you got on board like 2-ish, right? Close to 2?
Yeah, 2:00 on the dot.
Okay.
Our room was already ready when we got on board.
Were they handing out wands
Yes,
in the Grand
yes.
Hall? Okay. So they don't skimp on that,
Nope.
handing it out.
No,
Did
I
you
stepped
stick
on one today. It
around?
hurt my foot.
Well, that will do that. Did you stick around in the Grand Hall to like wave the wand and say
Yes, we did.
whatever?
Yep.
Okay. And thoughts on that little welcome, how do you do?
I
sort
thought
of
it was
thing?
perfect for what they needed it to be. I thought it was a lot of fun. Rapunzel was there, and it just gets the cruise going, gets you in that Disney state of mind right away.
And then the first bit of getting on a cruise ship can be kind of hectic. You got to either find food, or you got to go try to book a reservation, or you go to a room, you're looking for your luggage. So we're going to bypass that
Yes.
nonsense, right?
For the
You
record,
gotta
we
do
got
your
all
muster
those things
drill.
done. Yes.
All done. Muster drill, first time doing the electric muster drill,
Took
right?
10
The
seconds. It was
virtual.
great. Loved it.
You go find it, open your app, scan the picture, and
Yep.
like check.
A
we're
cast
done.
member was standing right there and literally almost did it on my phone for me. It was phenomenal.
Right. If you can't get it done fast enough, they're
Yes.
just like, give me your phone.
Yep.
And then it's like, done. I love it. And that started, when the restart started, and
I hope it stays like that
I
forever.
hope they don't ever get rid of it, because it's one of the greatest things. Better than everybody going at like 3:30, standing in a line,
Yep.
baking sun. It's no fun. All right. Let's talk about some things that I did not experience on the Wish that you did a little differently because of the makeup of your travel party and just your personality. So let's go with the kids clubs to start. I walked through them all, pictures of them all, huge, great, beautiful. How about the kids? It's been a while since your
It has
kids have been
been.
in them.
Yep.
So how did it go? What was the pluses, the minuses of the kids clubs?
The pluses, they did a great job theming them, decorating them. I thought they were really cool walking around and touring. Of course, Marvel and Star Wars, huge highlights for myself and my children as well. They are very compartmentalized. So literally they are compartments so they can shut them off.
Yep.
I thought that was really an interesting choice.
It's so you can do the outside meet and greets.
Yes.
It worked great for me as an
It
adult.
works great
I
for
could
you,
go meet
but
Chewbacca.
it really upsets the children who want to be in that room during that time.
It's not all about the children, Derek.
It's a kids club. It's all
It's
about
not
the
all
children.
about the children.
So I really picked my kids' brains and the our table mates and other people who were on board. And for the older kids, we'll take my son Declan. He's 9. He is obsessed, and by obsessed I mean obsessed with Star Wars. I thought he would be in the Star Wars area all the time. But after he did the one thing that you could do in there, which is creature encounter, he was done. He's like, I've done it. There's nothing more. And then they shut it off to meet Chewbacca. And he's just like, I'm bored. And so I really was hoping, and I talked to a few other people on board, that the kids clubs were doing more to provide, especially for the older kids. My 4-year-old loved it. Loved the kids clubs. Huge win for him. His favorite, I asked him, he enjoyed Captain Hook, I guess, came down there and did some things with the kids. So I didn't understand exactly what happened, but I knew Captain Hook was there. In the Marvel area was pretty good, except when they had to shut it off for Spider-Man. But they did do a make your own cape and make your own hero thing. But I just feel like there should be more. And I felt like, and this may have just been our cruise, it was understaffed.
Yeah, staffing is going to have peaks and valleys with the old exposures and everything. And the one area I was really interested in for the older kids. Now, Declan is much like myself, an introvert.
Yep.
So, and a lot like Alden. Alden at that age was not a fan of the kids clubs at all. And now he basically lives in one on the cruise ship now that he's in Vibe. So it's funny how that switches. But the Imagineering area where they have the build your own rides, any of the kids tackle that?
Declan did a little bit, but it sounded like there's just not enough staff to facilitate the amount of kids needed to get into the ride. So he did do a little bit of his own ride thing, but there's only two vehicles. And if you have X amount, so the first night there was, there said 850 kids on board, and almost all of them were down there. They don't have enough staff or ride facilities to help those kids.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the first time we were on the Dream when they had the Millennium
Falcon, exactly.
Right? Alden did you fly it? No, people just kind of kept going around me.
Yep. There's no line. There's just mass hysteria.
Right, and so your extroverts or introverts going to struggle.
Yep.
Extroverts are going to, go to the front, make a friend, best friends for life. So, let's see. You didn't use the nursery? Did you go through the nursery?
I did. For the record, so we've used the nursery on the other ships, and this nursery is 100 times better than I've
huge.
My wife was like, if we had another baby, and I'm like, shut up right there, honey. But my niece was just born, and so if we ever want to take her on a ship, but wow. If you have a little one, and I'm talking year and a half younger, this is the best nursery at sea. Any ship, any cruise line, by far.
Yeah, just the murals on the walls were amazing. I mean, the artwork.
I got to talk to some of the staff members, and I'm like, I trust you with my child, and I've just met you.
Yeah. Why not, Derek?
Yep.
Why not? Now, Olivia could do Edge and the Oceaneers Club. What did she prefer?
So first day she did Oceaneers, and she enjoyed it, but not enough to where she wanted to go back. She felt like she was way too old for our cruise group, a lot of younger kids. So we moved her into the Edge on day 2. She really liked the Edge, but also felt like she was too young for that. And so she was in a weird limbo area. So by day 3, my 9 and 10-year-old pretty much just ran amok on deck, switching from pool to pool, going from the Aqua Mouse and the other slide. But I do know that the next ship we get on, she will be full on in the Edge.
And just to sidetrack, on my show, I made a comment about the Edge, which I believe you kept hearing about.
I did. We're going to talk about that. Your joke came up multiple times on this trip. I can't believe how many people on board listened to our trip report. When I said Rope Drop Radio, they brought up you. You are semi-famous on the Wish, Doug. Yes.
Well, that's because I know where we should put the Edge, and it's not where they put it. So go listen to the other Wish show. So what? I guess with the Edge and the Vibe, I will say this. The first night, it's critical.
Yes, I realize that
because it's
right
the
away.
icebreaker stuff.
Yep.
You have to you force your kid, whether they want to or not, you go that first night to the icebreakers. Otherwise, they're just going to be that weird kid that showed up late. Like, did you not get on the cruise on time? Type of thing, which I don't know if that's possible.
Hindsight, I wish I would have just put my daughter on Edge right away.
Yeah.
But I really wanted her to be down in Oceaneers because this was the first time my 4-year-old could be in it. And I was like, hey, I need you to be a big sister. You know what? My extroverted 4-year-old had no problem.
I was going to say, he can play on his
He
own.
wanted
or with
to go.
700
Like, he was
kids.
at 4 years old. It's like, I want to go to play area.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
I know. What annoys me is when they text you, hey, he wants to be picked up. And I'm like, I'm trying to watch Thor.
Right?
Yeah.
I wish there was a way that you could tell him, like, yeah, I'm not coming to pick him up. Just ignore them for the next 3 hours.
Yep.
But
He'll forget
I also
about
understand he'll ask and then he'll forget.
Yep.
So, all right. So kids clubs, yay, nay, a little of both.
Little of both.
It's an amazing space. I think more things are coming content wise. It's just
there just wasn't.
slow
So that was the
going.
thing that really frustrated me is I remember on the other ships, the itinerary having so many more things to do for kids. Like we never had a Pluto's pajama party or anything like that.
We did.
See, we didn't
on
have
ours.
that on ours. Nope.
So maybe Pluto was quarantined.
Actually, Pluto was never on the ship. So
Well,
I never
there
saw
you go.
Yep, Pluto is quarantined. So we never had Pluto. We never had Ray. We never had a bunch of other things. So it was just, it seemed, like I said, it seemed short-staffed because there was not that many things happening.
Quarantine. We didn't have Cinderella. So
We had
you
Cinderella,
had Cinderella.
so I did have her.
So yeah, it's going to vary from cruise to
Yes.
cruise right now. And then they should be good for 90 days.
Hope so.
Right. That's a whole nother thing. All right. Let's move on to something that I walked through very quickly, took some pictures, got out. That is the spa. You and your wife enjoyed some time there. What did you do?
We did the rainforest room. It was phenomenal. We actually went and got a day pass. The reason why
I think calling a room is disrespectful to it
it
at
is,
this point,
it is,
right?
you're right.
They
It's
need to
more
change
than
the
a
name.
room. It is massive.
Deck.
Yeah.
It's
So
huge.
I do give a shout out to Wes, the DCL dude. He had me do some recon for him while I was on board, and while I was there, I was like, I was at the spa, and I was like, you know what, $79 is not a bad price for a day pass. And at the exact same time, Wes is texting me. My wife is texting me. She's like, I'm in the adults only area. There's not any room in the pool or at the lounge, and I'm like, hey, I'm at the spa. Come.
This
meet
is on
me
your sea day, correct?
on our NASA day.
NASA day, which
Yes.
is
Kind of like a sea
almost
day.
a sea day.
NASPA day, that's what I called it. And she came down. We got the day pass. My wife spent 4.5 hours. I spent probably 3 hours, whether it be in the sauna, steam room, cold sauna, or just in the beautiful lounge, heated lounge chairs, or best of all, the outer deck area, which had great lounge and then 2 hot tubs, which we met a listener in one of the hot tubs who actually said that your joke about putting the kids in the Tinder boat alongside, who are Edge and Vibe, was one of the funniest things she's ever heard on a podcast and almost made her fall while running. So
We don't
there
want
you go.
injuries.
No, but she
No.
laughed so hard that she tripped and almost got injured. So that happens. But yeah, I thought it was so neat that the other person in the hot tub with us was actually a listener.
Yeah. Small ship. Small world. I was really impressed with the cold room. I wanted to try that out, but we just didn't. We didn't really have time. 3 nights.
3 nights.
Way
You
too
don't have
fast.
nothing- yep.
4 is still short, but you get a little more time to
The
explore.
great thing about the spa was really it's what should be more for the adult only area. Like you want that adult only time on this ship. The spa is where you're going to have to
They
get
have
it.
monetized the square footage.
They really
is the,
have.
I mean, when you're building something new, you got to pay for it, right?
That's true.
And there's lots of other little things that we might mention later on that do that. But overall, great experience. Did they try to like pressure you into massages and other stuff?
Nope. Literally, we came in, we booked the rainforest. That was it. And that is what we did. And it was phenomenal.
Price is per person?
Yep.
And it's the whole day.
Whole day. So we got it about 9:30. And then my wife went back right after lunch. And then we both went back at about 8 o'clock at night.
Nice.
Yeah. It it was well worth it for especially the stress that we had getting on board and just the wanting that adult only time. It was the perfect place to be.
Is it all co-ed?
Yes. I mean, different locker rooms, of course, but yes. And what's crazy is my wife and I were the only ones in the steam room. We were the only ones in the sauna. We were the only ones in the cold sauna. We were almost the only ones in the hot tub, except a listener came in. And you know what? That makes it more magical anyway.
There you go. I like it. Overall thoughts on the whole census area?
Best spa. Out of all the ships, this is by far and away. Not the best workout facility. The workout I was a little disappointed in, but overall spa-wise, best spa.
Yeah, they took away the amazing view of the gym. But I've never understand why they're going to give treadmills the best view on the ship, essentially. Like, put a restaurant or something or a cabin there. The treadmill's always got premium. The people running probably appreciate the view, right? But it's still kind of, you can do better. So, very cool. Spa, that was a win. So, we're going to go from relaxing at the spa to stuffing our face, which I think every time I texted you, Derek, you were eating to where I don't even know what meal you were having.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's start with the non-main dining rotation food, the Marceline Market and the food on deck. What did you enjoy? What did you try? You can't try it all.
I tried it all. Don't even talk to me.
My bad.
I tried it as much as I could. I did like Marceline Market. My kids loved it. They love the buffet. It's not really a buffet, but where you can pick what you want.
It's not a buffet like Animal Kingdom is not a zoo.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
They're still serving you. You can't serve yourself. That's what I'm getting at.
Gotcha.
So we ate there quite a bit, but I really enjoyed the other side of the deck, the Mickey's. I'm blanking on the name, Doug. It's the food festival. Festival of Foods. There you go.
Mickey's Friends.
So I called it whatever it was. So I was like, when my wife would be like, "Hey, where you're going to go eat?" I say, "Donald's knockoff Chipotle." That is how I quoted it, and that's how I'm going to keep quoting it because Donald's knockoff Chipotle was phenomenal. You ate there 3 times. I ate there twice.
That's a good name for it.
It is.
And you can spice it up with the salsas at the end a little bit. I was amazed at different cheese choices. Yeah. There's like 2 different cheeses. Chipotle doesn't have 2 different cheeses.
That line was ridiculous, but you know what? It was totally worth it. And then you have Mickey's knockoff Famous Dave's, and I thought that was really good. I ate there, and I was like, you know what? This is better than I expected.
All our Midwest listeners just laughed.
It did.
Yeah, that's a great name for it. It is knockoff Famous Dave's.
That's what my wife said. Where are you eating? I said Mickey's knockoff Famous Dave's. It was, nailed it.
Did you have it more than once?
I just had it the first time.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to see if the consistency was pretty similar from the first time to the second time.
Yep.
That's the one thing I wish could kind of compare.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, did I get a good batch or a bad batch, or are they going to be pretty consistent? I thought the brisket was good. What was your favorite thing at the knockoff Famous Dave's?
The brisket was better than I expected. It wasn't the best brisket I've ever had by far.
It's counter service.
It's better than some of the other briskets I've had. It wasn't, dry. It had a decent pull test. It had a smoke ring. So it actually tasted pretty good. And the pulled pork was good as well.
Would you put it on par with Regal Eagle?
I think I would put Regal Eagle still above it, but not far.
Okay. Yeah. And the fun thing about all these different food booths, if you get really creative, I mean, you can get a bun from Goofy's and then go put your pulled pork on your bun and make yourself a sandwich.
Yep.
You could throw the pork on your burger. And
you could.
Lots of options.
I actually got a slice of pizza and then went and stood in line for the knockoff Chipotle. The pizza wasn't bad, by the way.
No, and it's different than every other ship. I did not have a slice. It was not bad, but it wasn't better than Derek pizza, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
So much better than Pizza pizza, though. But literally, there's no line.
Where would Olivia rank it, since she said Connections Eatery was number 1?
She liked it on board. We actually got So I'll have to ask her where she ranks her Disney pizza. I need to take her to Viennapoli. That's next.
Oh yeah, that's easily gonna be number 1 after. I mean, never mind.
Yeah.
I
never understand my daughter.
She put something ahead of your pizza, so
it happens.
False. So Chipotle, sorry, Donald's.
Yep.
And then you got the pizza, which
Yep.
is Daisy's,
Yep.
and you have which is kind of like knockoff Blaze, but
A
not
little
quite
bit.
as good. Not quite as good as Blaze. The dough is not there, right?
Yeah.
And then you got your knockoff Famous Dave's with Mickey's barbecue, and then Goofy's is just, I mean,
I called it knockoff fast food. So it was just fast food burger. Yep.
Burgers, fries, chicken strips, chicken sandwich. They have a spicy chicken sandwich and a tofu thing. And did they have a hot dog? Yeah,
They had a hot dog because my kid ate a hot dog.
Yeah, that's where you go. You feed your kid the hot dog, and you
Yep.
feel sorry for them while you eat food that actually has flavor.
Hmm?
What meal? Where did you eat breakfast on the ship, Derek?
Always Marceline, every time.
How was the crowds when you went, and what time were you going?
Because I'm up at the crack of dawn on a ship, since I was literally the first. So I ate 2 breakfasts. I would go by myself.
Like I said, every time I texted you, you were eating.
Yep. So I would eat breakfast by myself at Marceline Market, and I'd
As
walk
one
around,
should.
take pictures, and then I'd go back to the room, awkwardly wait for children to wake up. Usually I would take, at least one kid back up to eat. In fact, one day I did 3 breakfasts because I was like, oh my gosh, I got to take all my kids up eventually. So, Marceline, it was good. I got the omelet the one time. Actually, I thought it was a pretty good omelet.
Where they give you the little number, you take it
and
to your
put it on
table.
my table, and it didn't take them that long to get there. The donuts my kids got every time. The muffin was good. The eggs, the scrambled eggs were not that great. Bacon's not that amazing. I did get a breakfast burrito thing one day. That was one of the most amazing things I've ever eaten in my life, and I wish I could have the recipe on that.
I imagine you make a mean breakfast burrito, Derek.
I do,
just
but
believe
this
that.
one, I have actually a really good, I have a special recipe that I've been, But this had like a really interesting sauce that I'm like, ooh, what is it? It's like a Chipotle type sauce. I was like, I never even, this is good.
It's not just like a salsa in there.
Yeah,
Like
it
a
was
Chipotle
phenomenal.
style.
It was only there one day.
They
So
borrowed it from Donald's.
they must have. It was great. So I did like how they kind of changed it up a little bit each day. So you had a little bit different things. And then I did get the breakfast fried rice one time just to try it for no reason. And
What
it
is that?
It was literally just fried rice.
Okay.
With a lot of egg.
At breakfast time.
At breakfast time. So it
That's
was
what
all right.
makes it-
So our cruise director said the only way you're going to pay off this cruise is by eating as much as you could. And I ate as much as I could, Doug.
That's true. You did, and
I
you
did.
survived. I think I also asked you how many Tums you took with you. Because
None.
you usually just steal my Tums
Yeah, I
when we
do.
travel.
I did.
So I was worried.
I was not going to lie. By day 3.5, I got a little bit worried. My stomach was like, Derek, what are you doing? And I was like, you got to get me through one more day, guy. Come on, let's go.
All right, let's go into the main dining rotation. That's where the piece de resistance of any cruise ship, right? The dinner service is important. You started, your first meal was in Marvel, I believe.
It was.
Correct? And were you at table 407?
No, I was at 106.
Thank goodness.
I know. Also, I got commented by 2 different listeners on board that you saved them, and they knew our show because of that. And that was like the first thing they did was check on.
Hopefully table 407 doesn't exist anymore.
I looked for it. Like, I physically couldn't understand
You
where
can't
it is.
find it
Yeah.
because it's where the high chairs should be kept.
Yeah.
That's
Blows my
where
mind.
table 407 is. It's like, crap, we have one more table. Get rid of the high chairs. Just stick this there.
Yep.
That's table 407. So what was your table?
106.
And it was a great table.
Great table. We had an awesome family join us for the dinners. So that was great. And we started in Marvel. And I got to say, Marvel was one of the most unique dining experiences I've had. The food was terrible. And the show was very unique, but it's very dated. And so I really want to know what they're going to do in a couple of years with
Like
this.
in 3 years when some of those characters are no
Exactly.
longer under contract, or they're now villains, or they're now, who knows where their stories are headed, right?
I was like, it's such a cool idea, but like literally shoehorns them in just like they did with the Star Wars.
With Galaxy's
Yeah.
Edge. So it's going into the next phase where I think one thing they're thinking about is there's going to be a Captain America movie,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And there's definitely an Ant-Man and Wasp movie.
Yep.
And then you have the Marvels
Yep.
coming out, which is going to
So
be
you're
Miss
good
Marvel
for
and
3
Captain
years.
Marvel.
You got it down. They just kicked the bucket. They're like, we'll figure this out down the road.
They're going to need to start brainstorming with Kevin Feige on what's next, like in a month, because that's how far out they have to plan that stuff. But the real actors.
Yep.
And I thought it was good.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. The food was terrible. I got to tell you what, the restaurant was very tight. Like, I felt like I was back to back. I mean, elbow to elbow with my children, but like, it was very, very crowded in there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And after 2 years of not being crowded in places,
I was not expecting
even more
it.
alarming,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
They did not dedicate more square footage to their main dining halls.
No, they did not.
No,
yeah, we'll keep going into that.
And it's kind of weird how 2 of them are divided in half.
Yeah.
Like, don't go in the wrong one, folks.
Yep.
It's just an extra thing for the staff to have to
deal with. Yes.
Like, oh, sorry, you're in the wrong side.
Yep.
I wonder how many people like went to the bathroom from Marvel and went back to the wrong half. Like, kids are wandering around looking for their table.
Yeah, could have been.
Oh, we'll never know because that kid's still lost. So you weren't impressed by the food at Marvel. What did you get? The steak?
Steak. I got.
Yes.
I'm just gonna. I got the steak at every meal because why
Okay.
not?
Why not? Did you only order one entree, sir?
On Pirate Night, I ordered 2, but we'll get to that.
So just one usually.
Yep.
And like you and Madison never got like a third entree just to like poke with your fork and see if it's better.
We did with appetizers on a couple
okay.
things.
So we're like third entree type people. We're usually not third appetizer type people. So we're different kind of people.
I ate so much during my like 4 breakfasts and 3 lunches that honestly I wasn't super hungry by our 5:45 dinner time.
That's true.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So Marvel, show good.
Food miss. And I got that from other people as well.
Yeah, you're not alone.
Yep.
All right. I don't even remember what I ordered there. That's how memorable
bad.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah. I know I could eat most things, so that was good. I was worried Marvel, they'd make everything green to be like whole. Oh, how about the naming of the food at Marvel? Were you expecting like Hulk burrito or
I thought that would be fun. Why
right?
not?
Like it was just named food. It was just regular. Now the desserts had creative names, but it was like we're only going to create the creative people to name desserts.
Well, that's because they made it big and they brought out one giant cookie and one giant cupcake, and then I'm like, where's my giant cookie?
Yeah, and then they brought you miniature.
Yeah, I was so
that might have been the second worst cookie you've eaten in 2022.
It was, well, they got me the wrong dessert, and I just ate mine and didn't even talk to them about it.
Did you try the little cookies that they brought out?
No, we didn't get any.
You didn't get any little cookies?
We didn't get any little cookies? None of one.
We got mini cookies, but we also didn't see Ant-Man and the Wasp, like the people, walk through. Did you?
No, we didn't. That either.
Evidently, they are now again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I probably quarantined.
Yes,
cruises, Derek. I don't know.
I'm realizing this the more and more. Yeah.
Yeah, the quarantine is an issue on cruise ships. So, anywho, so Arendelle.
Great meal.
Showstopper, right?
Loved it. Great table. This is entertainment 24/7. You have Anna and Elsie, you have Olaf, you have singing and dancing. I had a prime rib that was top 3 prime ribs I've ever eaten, which is saying a lot because I have a high standard. I make my own prime rib. I have a high standard for prime rib, and I was like,
so what's
crap.
your list of prime rib? Derek's prime rib, Misty's prime rib.
Actually,
what's
no, Arendale's above Misty's.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if you're a Nebraskan, Derek.
I know. There's a place in Omaha. I'll have to look it up. A like hole in the wall steakhouse. I'm like, holy crap. No, I'm gonna look.
No,
I'll look it up.
All
It's and then Coop's Corner, the restaurant I worked at for a little while, had the best prime rib.
Because it was your prime rib?
No, actually,
I
still don't understand to this day how they made that prime rib so good.
Crack. That's how.
I think so. But yeah, it was a really good prime rib. The entertainment was phenomenal. It just overall.
How about Oaken,
he was hilarious.
The host.
Yeah.
The kids into the show?
2 of the 3.
Which Which one was
My
not?
oh my gosh, my Declan, my kid who loved Marvel and he just kept hitting himself in the head and he goes, I need to let this go. Like I'm done. He just
Jeez.
was ready to be done with that whole restaurant as soon as he could get out of there. He doesn't love Frozen at all.
I think the
Also, he
show
was
is.
livid that we had to eat there 2 nights in a row.
Oh, because your pirate night was also in Arendelle.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, where the food is different
Yeah.
than the other time. And how was your meal? No prime rib at pirate night, right?
I got two meals at Pirate Night. I got the jerk chicken, which was
Mm-hmm.
not good at all, dry, and the rice thing was not that great. And then I did get a beef. That was pretty good. Same cook, I think from the night before cooked it, so I think we're still good. But Pirate Night disappointed me so much because and our waiter was phenomenal because he came up to me right away. Since I am dressed up, by the way, Doug, unlike you, I dress
wore a
up for
t-shirt.
Pirate Night and I go all out. And our host comes up to us and goes, just so you know, we do not have any pirate gear. We don't have our show. We have a lot of things that we'll be adding to the Wish, but we're not doing it tonight. I think it's only the second true pirate night that they've
Right.
done.
They only
And-
do them on 4 nights, so.
And so they apologize. I got apologized to so many times on that, knowing that you could just tell by I'm ready for the pirate show, and it was just a complete swing and miss because they were truly not ready. Also, how are you not ready for wardrobe and all the things? You knew the ship was coming 2 years ago.
Because Janet in like logistics like got a different job and left, and people didn't realize what Janet did.
I guess I was just
right?
so dumbfounded. So, and on top of that, so they're like, "What would you like to drink?" I'm like, "It's Pirate Night. I want a beer." And he goes, "Okay, what beer would you like?" And I was like, "I'll take this one." He goes, "We don't have it." I'm like, "This one, we don't have it. This one, we don't have it." 5. There's 6 or 7 beers on the menu. They were out of 5, Doug. 5 gone. Like kegs, they don't have them on board.
Your cruise must have really been boozing it up on
I
night
guess.
1, Derek. I don't know.
So yeah, I was like, finally, I just look at our drink guy and I just go, bring me a beer. I don't even care which one at this point. Just find a beer for me. It's Pirate Night. Arr.
And you got one.
I got one.
There you go. It's either beer or rum. That's how you get through a pirate night, right?
Exactly. My wife actually did get the rum drink that they had.
All right, before we finish, no, let's finish with eating here.
Okay.
1923. This is, I'd say, the fanciest restaurant on
is.
board by far. Split in half. So when you look at your app, it tells you whether you go to Roy or Walt. Don't go to the wrong one. Don't be that guy. All right. And it doesn't really matter if you get Roy. Don't be like, oh, we have Roy. I wanted Walt. Literally, it's just
Same thing.
left instead of right. There's different stuff on the walls, which you're not going to have time or the space to look at.
Yeah. Wow. They definitely pack you in tight in that restaurant.
Yeah. So, what did you get at 1923?
The famous filet mignon. That was one of the best meals I've ever had on a cruise ship or Disney property. I was shocked with how good it was.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing steak. And I think the amazing part of it is you look around the dining room and everybody has the steak.
Yep.
And it's still good.
It's
and
still
it's still
amazing. Like,
cooked the way you wanted.
Yep.
It's impressive.
they had a famous old fashioned there, and so I got that as well, which was really good. They had a good appetizer. Like that whole meal was perfect. And the whole family loved it. Everyone had a great meal there.
Excellent. Everybody stayed awake.
Yep.
And that sort of stuff. All right, that's good. There's your main dining, folks. And you did go to a few bars and lounges. Let's talk about the Hyperspace Lounge, which I have struggled with the name of and called it, Sublight Lounge, which is on the Halcyon, not
is.
on the Wish. So Hyperspace Lounge, Derek, you finagled your way in.
Well, I did. And so I think the Hyperspace Lounge, first off, I think it really is leftover parts from the Halcyon, like things that they didn't use. They're like, oh, we should squeeze this onto a cruise ship.
Mm-hmm. It is Skyline, definitely, with the screens in the back.
Yeah.
But reservations, so once you get on Disney's app, make your reservation
You do.
in the terminal. And you were slower getting in the terminal because Callum had a test.
Yes, and so and from what so as soon as we get on board, I beeline right to Hyperspace. And because I'm seeing on the app that there are plenty of times available, but it's not letting me make them. It just says problem. And I'm going to tell you, this is the worst job in all of Disney, all of it. Is the guy at Hyperspace Lounge having to tell everyone that the app doesn't work, that they are full. And there's a mob of people around him like holding up their phones like, hey, did you see the time on the app? And it's like, he's like, no, that's the app. That's an IT problem, I assure you. He goes, we were full before boarding group 1 got on board.
Right. Once you get in the terminal, you
Yep.
need to make your reservation. There's your PSA.
Which is truly frustrating
Yeah,
because
it's-
this is something they promote on the
Oh
Wish.
my
Like
gosh.
every single commercial I have seen for the Wish has Hyperspace Lounge in it. So if you're not boarding group 1, 2, 3, you're pretty much out.
Well, it's about getting into the terminal too
Yeah.
fast. So it's report arrival time, which is a crapshoot these days. The only way to get early port arrival times really is to be concierge.
Yep.
And that's annoying too for us non-concierge folks because that is not me. But
I got in.
You got in.
I
You
did.
finagled.
So I was walking by. I tried a couple times to get in there. I really wanted to get in to check it out for the show. I'm walking by one time, and a family of 3 is standing there, and they're like, "Nope, no room." And the family of 3 start talking to me. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've tried to get in a couple times. It's really frustrating. You got to be be bigger, higher up than me to be able to get in there." And they're like, "Well, we're a family of 3. How about we're a family of 4?" And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And they're like, "Hey, this is our 4th." And so I was like, very sweet. And they bring me in there. Also, plenty of room for more people, by the way, when I went in there. And so I got to give a huge shout out because here was the craziest thing, Doug. We sit down and they're like, "Hey, what do you do?" And I go, "I do a Disney travel podcast and it's called Rope Drop Radio." And she goes, "Oh my gosh, Doug's joke about the tindering the kids off the side of the ship on the Wish episode was one of the funniest things I ever heard." And I go, "Holy crap, you're a listener." She goes, "Oh yeah." And her name is Christina Metz and she does Baking Memories for Kids, which is a nonprofit that we definitely want to learn more about and be able to support on this show. Definitely really cool. They do a lot with Walt Disney World. So how random is that though, Doug?
I know. People everywhere.
It is.
People
So definitely very blessed to go in there, and I can give you my full review. It is not that great.
No, and keep in mind, we've
been on the
Halcyon.
Halcyon. I've been to Oga's.
I keep having to throw that asterisk, but like, if you've been to Oga's, don't stress out about not getting into it. Basically, would be my.
It's the size of my closet. Why didn't they make it twice as big?
It's bigger than some other venues, like Mickey's Main Sale.
Okay, yeah, that's there. There you go.
Not gonna.
We'll talk about that here in my dislikes.
Yeah, that's an the menu is not one I would make.
Yep.
It's a poorly constructed menu. They're more concerned about having you play on an iPad than drinking.
I guess. So, yeah, I had one beer, got in and out so I can check it off the list. Definitely not my favorite lounge on the Wish. Probably not even in my top 3.
What was your favorite lounge on the Wish?
Keg and Compass, by far. The bartender, Sam, who's got a great rep going online right now, is one of the best bartenders, period. All of Disney. Just a great place to drink, do trivia, have fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then runner-up would easily be the Bayou.
Was there live music ever in Keg and Compass in the evenings?
Nope, not when I was there.
No.
And I was there in the evening, yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed the live music in the Bayou.
Yep, I watched live music in the Bayou. I did enjoy having a drink with my wife at the Rose. So that was adults 18 plus. And so that was really fun to be able to do just with her. And we missed, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name of the piano bar.
Nightingales.
Nightingales. No one was ever in there until the last night.
It's like
so
always closed for private events.
and it had a lot of private. So yeah, we missed that one. But all in all, I do like the variety of drinks and bars that they have on the Wish. That is a highlight for sure.
Lots of little places to go. And I think the reason they went with little spaces is on the Dream and the Fantasy, you can go and there can be 10 people in something and it feels empty.
It does.
And nobody likes being in an empty venue. It feels bad. That's why minor league baseball teams started to build their own stadiums that were smaller, right? The 2,000 people looks different in a little stadium compared to a big stadium. So I think that's what they're going for, which at peak times is an issue, but
crazy.
The rest of the times
ridiculous.
It does what it wants. I don't know. It's weird though. What about Tritons? Did you ever?
We went to Tritons multiple times, and this is one of my biggest dislikes was how small Tritons is. So Tritons is where they did all the karaoke that are the family karaoke, and it holds about, maybe 70 people. I don't, it's tiny. And they're trying to, I mean, they're shoving us in like, it was ridiculous. Like, it's seating on the floor. There's no seats. I was so disappointed with how small this venue was, especially for family karaoke, which was super popular. And
that should only be in Luna. That we saw it in Luna. I mean, but it was in multiple places on our sailing.
We only had it in Triton on ours.
Yeah, Luna's where it belongs, right?
Luna just disappointed me the whole time because I felt like there was just most of the time Luna was empty. They had a couple weird dance parties and then one, how well do you know your mate? But then the rest of the time Luna just sat empty. I'm like, why couldn't we do this in there?
Don't know. Somebody doesn't know how to unlock the door or something.
I guess.
That person's at lunch. They got to figure some things out for sure on where to put the programming, how to move it around. But yeah, I've said it before. Cruise people, not cruisers, but the crew, very set in their ways, very traditional. Change is difficult for them, and they're gonna figure it out, but it's gonna take a little time. All right, so that branched off the food. You mentioned Pirate Night. I want to hit this real quick before we get to the rest of the outline here, Derek. The show for Pirate Night, I loved it. I love live music. I'm a sucker for it. Derek, you had a slightly different opinion.
You said they fixed it, and I say they ruined it on the Wish. Dog.
I say you never saw the worst version.
I don't know, man. So this is definitely geared for a Doug age audience. So this whole show.
How old do you think I am?
You're in your 40s, Doug.
42.
Yeah, I'm still in my 30s. So
the music they played is old to me.
Okay, so this is definitely geared for an older audience. Here's the thing: it's missing the Disney magic, the Disney touch to it. Yeah, Jack Sparrow comes out for like 5 seconds at the end. The fireworks show, phenomenal.
The music during Pirates is good.
Yes. But the show leading up to it just felt like hairband 80s rock. I mean, it was good music, but it just didn't have the pirate flair that I wanted.
So you would have liked, so they do a cover of Yo Ho, Pirate's Life for me. You would have liked more Disney covers probably in that style.
What I really want
is Dropkick Murphy's style.
Well, not even that. I want to see the Fab Five in their pirate gear out there. And we did get to see that. They were rehearsing later in the evening with that. But I want to see more of the Disney magic in there, geared more towards the children.
You're always thinking about the children.
I am, because I'm a big 9-year-old, both in height and maturity.
All right. Let's move on to not the fish extenders, Derek, but the Wish extenders.
Yes, this was something truly magical on our cruise.
Did you have a thing to hook on your thing?
Yes, we did. Yep.
Okay.
So our custom one wasn't going to get done in time, so we did buy a knockoff one from the store, so we could at least put that up. This is something we've been wanting to do. We're in the group on the fantasy, both fantasy sailings that got canceled. So this is a highlight for sure. Like coming back to your room at night and my kids seeing our bags full and just opening them up and seeing all the gifts and things that were in there. I mean, some of the people just went so far above and beyond. Pillowcases, bags, AirPod holders. I mean, we got candy and books and board games.
What did you take for other people if you're part of the group? Don't tell me Rope Drop Radio business cards.
Well, yes, but also we did a few different things. We did custom pins. We did mints, orange TikToks that we said were Olaf noses, Rope Drop Radio pens, and a few other knickknacks. But I realized right away that we
You were.
under-delivered compared to what people were putting out. I honestly feel a little bad.
There's
for,
some people that spend some serious money.
the pillowcases, I'm like, really, guys? This is like taking it to the next level. I promise I will be better on our next cruise.
How many people were in your group? So it's organized through a Facebook group,
Yep.
and then they make subgroups. So was it like a group of 10 or so? What did they limit it to for you?
You'll have to ask Madison on that one
okay.
for sure, because she ended up doing. We dropped out and then we came back in last minute, but we easily 10, give or take.
Yeah.
On,
Okay.
on
10's
ours.
pretty common.
Yep.
I think. They do groups of 10. Like ours
But
had
like-
like 10 different groups of fish
But like
extender
you have
groups.
ornament exchange, you have beer exchange,
Magnet exchange.
magnet exchange. So we'd always come back and have random magnets adding to our collection on, and then we joined a kind of the random pixie dust exchange as well. So whatever was left over, and people just kind of dumped in our bag, and so I was shocked. I almost need another suitcase for the amount of things that we brought home.
Which is why we don't usually participate, because it's a lot of stuff. So like, especially like in Europe, I don't know how you get it to and from. It's just way too much work.
We are going
right?
to go bigger and better the next time.
All right. Castaway. Beautiful weather, beautiful beach.
Perfect day.
What did you do?
Well, I did something I've never done before that I've always said I wanted to do whenever I got back to Castaway, and that's parasailing. So I fly drones for a living, and I wanted to feel like a drone in the air. And it was a really incredible experience. I loved it. Not worth the price for the amount of time that you're up in the air. It's 100 and some for 5 minutes in the air. So that was a little rough, but I did enjoy it. It's been on my checklist for a long time. Knocked it off. A lot of fun to do that. And then the other excursion we did on Castaway was snorkeling, which I will recommend. Just bring your own snorkeling gear. My kids have really gotten into snorkeling. My dad lives on a lake, and they've been snorkeling in the summers and stuff like that with him. So I was like, yeah, let's finally. We dropped my 4-year-old off at Scuttles. We took the older one snorkeling. We did have a lot of fun finding all the cool things under the water, Mickey and all the ships and all the fun things that you can find. So that was great. But I did not love the gear that I had on my face. I'm a certified scuba diver, so I'm used to like my mask and snorkel. So I did not love the Disney one. It was hurting.
Yeah, if you really like yours, pack it, take it. You can use theirs. You just have to put on the little vest.
Yep.
Have to wear the yellow vest, but you can.
It was
bring
a
everything
last
else.
minute thing that we decided to do at Castaway because
Not a bad thing to do last minute.
Yep.
And you can always add it. You don't have to worry about it being sold out, anything like that. There was one time I was there where they were not allowing it because of weather, because it was too windy. I'm like, I'm
underwater.
Right?
Yep.
I don't know.
But it was a perfect day for us. And then we spent way too much time at the splash pad, like we always freaking do. I do not understand why my kids are obsessed with the.
Well, you could do that in Lincoln, Nebraska.
I know.
Why not
I know.
do it in the Bahamas?
I mean, hours. We have spent. I bet, like we have spent more time at that splash pad than most. We're the 1% of people because it just every cruise we have done, we have spent at least an hour at the leaky, whatever it's called. It just blows my mind that we do that.
It's what the kids love, and you love your kids, as previously noted.
That's true, yes. And then cookies is always one of my favorite places to eat. Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite meals, period.
Is it?
It is. Ribs, potato salad.
Ribs, all that
ribs
matters.
Are great. I mix all the salads up, so the mac salad, the potato salad, I mix them all up and just eat them. It's good.
Okay, I'll just take your word for it on that.
Okay.
All right. Let's kind of start wrapping up. We'll hit a lot of broad topics here in this next part, but things that Derek loved about the Disney Wish.
Well, one, I love getting back on a cruise ship after X amount of time. I did like the spa. I thought that was phenomenal. We did mention that. I love the lounges and how they're spread apart. I do love I enjoyed the Aqua Mouse. I did not enjoy the line for the Aqua Mouse. That just got beyond ridiculous. I did enjoy the. A lot of people complain about the pools. I actually like the split pools.
It's kind of neat. It worked out, I think.
It worked out well. It worked out for me as a parent, and just knowing each one had a lifeguard. My kids were safe, but the Toy Story splash pad on board, huge win for Callum, who's obsessed with Buzz Lightyear. So that was a good one, and that slide was phenomenal too back there in that area.
Did all the kids do the Partysaurus Rex?
I think so.
Yeah.
I did
Thumbs
it
up.
too. Yes.
Yeah. How was it? You did it? I did not do it.
Oh, I did it. It was fine for what it was. The Aquamouse, though, the length of ride is definitely not worth the line that ride can.
I mean, more than half the ride is going up a conveyor belt.
Yes.
And it's slightly uncomfortable because you're at an angle, like trying to sit up and look at things, and then it, sprays you, and it's a choice. They made some choices.
They did.
And I don't know that I'd make the same choice.
The Aqua Dunk is still the best thing on anything. Yep. The magic. Bring me that all day.
And the best thing about the Aqua Dunk is so many people don't do it.
Yep.
The line's never crazy.
Not that bad.
And especially you go at a low time. The only thing slowing you down is how fast you can climb stairs, which means Doug did not do it enough.
No, he did not.
Those stairs. Whoa. But Aquamouse, you can't ride solo.
Yep. I think you can.
Explain that a little?
So it sounded like it came down to weather. And so when it was low windy or we were out on when the ship's moving, it was doubles only. I think it sounded like when you're actually docked or like at Castaway, it can be solo. But yeah, we had to do for safety. You always had. So I went with my 2 other kids, my older kids, and they're like, "Sir, you can't ride." And I'm like, "Oh." So I let my 2 gingers ride, and I kind of cried. So that happens. Yeah, I finally got my wife to get on with me.
Yeah, and what did she think about it?
Same thing. We enjoyed it, but how short it was. Is it really worth the? We thankfully went at a time that it wasn't a long wait.
And correction already, it's not the Partysaurus Rex. That's the show.
Oh,
it's the Slideosaurus
Rex. There you go.
I'm gonna get fired, Derek. I'm gonna get fired. Sorry, guys. So, like the pool deck, that good win there. What other things did you like that stood out to you?
Those were most of my likes.
We kind of covered all the others.
Yeah, I know. We covered everything else. I'm ready to get to some of the dislikes, Doug.
All right. What did you dislike?
Okay, the first thing was the stupid, incredible inflatable. This thing...
Innovative.
Oh my gosh, let's put an inflatable on a cruise ship. Here's what annoyed me is we're like, yes, we gotta do it for the show. I go there, the line's all the way down the stairs in the Marceline Market. I'm like, are you kidding me? And my son forgot his key to the world, so I leave my son there. I go get his key to the world. I literally went to the bathroom. I think I went back and got another round of food. Come back, he is barely moved. I didn't end up doing it. I was like, I cannot wait in this line. He waited for over an hour to do a obstacle course at sea. And even he goes, that was not worth it.
And there's other times, I guarantee you just walk right up and no one was there.
I'm sure.
It's so bizarre. The ebb and flow of foot traffic on a cruise ship is tricky. I would like to talk to a traffic engineer that could monitor foot traffic on a cruise ship. It'd be fascinating. Maybe I'll get my brother on that job, but it would be interesting because when we were watching it, it was literally a walk-on, and it was later in the day on our Nassau day, so it should have been busy, but literally walk-on. So it's crazy that you had to wait that long. So all right, what other things?
Buying gifts. Oh my gosh, the gift shop is one of the smallest that I've ever seen and did not have as much stuff as it could have had. And then you're taking all that space for Disney gifts that you could give to these signature $1 million watches and purses and bags. Like, I don't even get why. I didn't even learn the names of these places to shop because I never saw people go in there. So and it just blew my mind.
Right. When you're sitting at the Bayou, you look towards the theater, there's high-end shops on both sides. They looked empty the entire time for our cruise except for one time. And it was mobbed packed in these high-end shops. And that was basically between shows, between Little Mermaid evening shows, mobbed. And people were buying crap left and right. So somewhere, Disney knows how to count money, right? I
Yeah,
think they do.
I think though.
They
They have a lot of my money.
They have a square foot analysis of
I don't understand.
how much money can this make
I
us
never
per
saw
square foot.
anyone in the watch store. Every time I made a
I saw watches purchased, but
I
only
know.
at that one time.
Okay.
And they had to do a cost analysis, and they shoved Mickey's mainsail up on deck 5 midship, but it's kind of more
it's
aft.
tiny.
It's like a
It was
hallway
always
that
elbow
got
to elbow
bloated.
people.
It was not pleasant.
Yep.
And like on our sailing, people were just grabbing stuff and holding on to it because inventory was also sketchy.
Yep.
Like there was only double X's and smalls and some things. Did you ever go into the gift shop up on like the top deck? So there's a little gift shop up there on the pool deck.
Oh, yes, on the pool deck one. Yeah,
well, it's not on the pool deck.
I know what you're talking about.
Doors.
Yes, I love that one. It had all the custom shirts. I almost bought something in there. Yeah, I did see that one by Marceline Market or by the opposite side of the gelato. We did buy gelato.
Did you from the emotional or
yes.
what the? Oh
Inside
my gosh!
Out gelato,
Inside
basically.
Out shop. Yeah, it looked good. All kinds of candy in there.
Yep.
So shopping was weird. Just weird overall.
But we did spend a lot of money in Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. I'll tell you that much, Doug.
You did. Oh, the name of that shop is Dory's Forget Me Nots.
Forget Me Nots. There you go.
And the knots spelled like, because you're on a ship. Knots.
Yep.
Yeah. For Dory's Forget Me Nots. That's where I ended up getting the shirt that I looked for 3 days.
There you go.
In the other store.
Yeah.
And then they had it up there, crumpled up on top of a thing.
I only bought a pin because I spent way too much money at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique that I didn't have anything left to spend on souvenirs.
I'm going to be honest. Michelle and I wore shirts home from the ship because I may have not counted right.
That happens.
Yeah.
I may have done the same thing, Doug.
So you did Bibbidi Boppidi, but nobody did the Tangled Salon.
Nope.
Right?
Untangled,
right?
Yep.
And then you have the
barber
Barbary. You didn't go get it shaved.
I actually wanted to because I've been told by a couple cast members that if you like bourbon and whiskey, you need to go in there and just drink, and you don't have to get a shave or cut.
You didn't get a chance?
I didn't get a chance to.
There's only so much time.
There is. No, because we spent so much at... So Bibbidi Bobbidi, I will say, was a highlight because my daughter, literally we had not planned it before. So my daughter's walking by, it's just me and her, and she goes, man, I remember doing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique on the Dream. And I was like, yeah, you were 5. It was our first cruise. It was really a magical moment. She goes, I'm about to grow out of Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, am I? And I'm like, yeah, you're a year away and you can't do it really. And she goes, can I do it one more time? And at that moment, I'm like, yes, absolutely. Here's my money, credit card. Let's go book an appointment.
Yeah,
so we go in, book it. And I actually hung out with our boy Ed from the show that we talked to.
Ed.
And while my daughter and my wife had an incredible mommy-daughter experience, all the feels, all the emotions. I'll post a picture of her Bibbidi Bobbidi, but it's just like one of those moments where it's like, sure, take my money, my tween is about to be a kid again, and it was such a highlight. And then Callum did the Mickey, so he got his hair all done in Mickey and did the sailor's outfit, which he wears constantly now and might wear for Halloween. But that was a highlight because everywhere he went on board, people were like, Captain, salute, Captain. And he just got so used to saluting everyone, every cast member.
Awesome.
Treated him. I took him off the ship at Nassau, and we got some pictures in front of the ship. And oh my gosh, the way the cast members treated him when he was all dolled up was great. And all the characters as well.
That's great.
He goes to Captain Hook, he goes, I, the real captain. And Captain Hook thought that was great. So
that was funny.
Yeah.
Have you gotten all the glitter out of everything yet?
No, probably not.
Okay, never. Once you're glittered, you're always
He
glittered.
was upset. Like, we were on the airplane home, and he's got mad because his glitter was out of his hair. And I'm like, I'm glad it's gone. The other highlight I do want to say is we did see the shows and playing off your episode, and I enjoyed the shows that we saw. I thought Little Mermaid was good. I didn't really need another version of Little Mermaid, but I wanted something original, but it still was a great show. I don't know why people complain about it.
I don't either.
The effects were incredible.
Right. The projection mapping, like, They'd hold up
singing,
a
talent.
scroll and they projection map onto a
I don't understand how that all works.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so the show was phenomenal. My only complaint is that I wanted something unique and new to the ship that you can only see on the ship.
And that's not the fault of anyone on that stage.
And whenever Aladdin comes out, that's my same critique because I've seen Aladdin.
So, yeah. And if you've been on the fantasy, you've really seen Aladdin.
There you go.
How about the first show, the
I loved it.
The Adventure or Adventures Away. That's the show for the Magic.
Sailing.
It's not the name at all, but
there's a show. Goofy learning how to sail.
That should be the name of it.
There you go. I thought it was really great because you're introducing all the Disney characters when they come on stage. Oh my gosh, it's Hercules, round of applause. Peter Pan, round of applause. Elsa, round of applause. That is what I love. It's Crush. Oh my gosh, round of applause. It got the energy. It is the perfect first day on board show.
Yep, it was good.
Yep,
it was good. I don't ever need Goofy singing, but that's a personal thing.
I loved it.
Hopefully Ryan's not listening right now. He'd be mad at me.
Mickey comes on and it just everyone's like, yeah, the energy was perfect.
Good. Shows were good. The crew in the shows were really good.
Yep.
All right. Any other things you really liked? Are we ready? Oh, we're in the dislikes category.
Yeah,
Turned into likes,
I
Derek.
went back
How
to
did
likes. Because I realized we didn't say anything about shows.
How about go back to dislikes?
Okay.
The staterooms. I love the stateroom, except didn't you? The storage was
you know what? Storage was
you
fine.
didn't
The
need
fridge,
drawers.
I didn't. Yeah, the fridge was weird because I kept opening it up, thinking that's where I stored my socks.
Well, joke's on you. You don't have socks.
That's
Derek.
true. I didn't actually. So that's what I mispacked. Actually, so I'll give
you didn't mispack it.
My kids. So my kids all mispacked how many socks they need. So they took all of Dad's. So Dad wore a dirty pair of socks home. I wore sandals the whole time I was on board.
As one should.
As I did, and my sandals still smell. But yeah, the stateroom was fine. I liked it for what it was. The bump out was phenomenal. But yeah,
you
you're
had
right.
that bigger balcony, right? You were on the peak of the bump out.
It was. The bump out made it perfect.
There's two of those peak bump out on each floor. Well, four, right? Both sides. Yeah.
And then both sides. And so, but yeah, you're right. Where you're storing the luggage under the bed had to be strategic. Had to put suitcase in a suitcase, and we unpacked and we got everything in there. So that was nice.
You remembered all your cords?
Yeah, you know what? For once we did. And actually, what's funny is I really went above and beyond trying to make sure we didn't forget the cords. I overpacked this time.
So many ports and stuff on that ship. The only weird thing is on the one side of the bed, they have the European plug instead of an American plug.
Didn't bother me at all.
But they have USB and USB-C ports right everywhere. There. So,
yeah. A lot better than the Halcyon, I'll tell you that much.
Oh my gosh, the Halcyon had like a plug. You couldn't even plug two things in because they had them like, oh my gosh, that was probably the biggest complaint of the Halcyon, I think, looking
Somehow
back.
We got back to the Halcyon on this show.
Always going to happen.
Yeah. All right, biggest dislike, though, is still you advertise things like the lounge, the Hyperspace Lounge, you can't get in. My other biggest dislike, I'm a trivia fan. I love doing Disney trivia. That is what I want to do on board. And holy crud, could you not find tighter spaces to do Disney trivia? Like, we went to the Bayou and we're sitting on the ground, like literally at the feet of the person.
Not a place to do it.
I did Keg and Compass and I'm like, are we in a pandemic or not? Because I don't know. I'm literally licking the person next to me when I give an answer. Like, I could not believe how tight all trivia should be in Luna. And even Luna might not even be big enough.
I don't know. That'd be a lot of people doing trivia. That'd be hard to win.
It would be, but it just blew my mind at how little trivia spaces were given.
Yeah. There's no medium-sized venue between Luna, which is huge. Like bigger than the Tube, bigger than Evolution type of huge. Yep. It is big. So you don't need that much room for trivia. Because if that many people do trivia, good luck. Yeah. Like, you're going to have perfect scores and tiebreakers. But the other spaces are so small because they're trying to be intimate that there is nothing in between at all. I don't know what they can do to fix that. Maybe middle of the day main dining room have trivia?
Maybe.
I don't know. Get creative, guys. Get creative. That's all I can say to the crew.
That's about it. So that's my biggest dislike. That frustrated me. And also,
That
it's
and
like,
it wasn't a theme park.
not that true. Also, it's like, hey, why can I be elbow to elbow with everyone and then not hug a character on board?
That's-
So that also is
Yeah.
just weird to me at times.
So, all right. Well, any parting thoughts from the seas, Derek?
I did not get seasick. Actually, I did not feel any motion on the ship. I am amazed at how smooth that sailing was.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
they have I heard the technology is even better. And
Oh
so
yeah, it's
I had a couple
step
people
up.
ask me about that, and because they've heard the new technology.
Stabilizers are a little different.
Yeah.
and, yep. There's
like,
been some
Yeah,
big
didn't feel a thing.
changes on the
I
stuff
could
you never know.
go on a ship. I'm like, I didn't even feel like I was on a ship half the time. I forgot. So that's the great thing about cruising. And the hardest part, of course, is getting off the ship, which I did talk about in our Patreon show. So if you
Yeah,
want to hear
that's
that,
a good one. You want to hear?
you have to go into Patreon and my epic
Derek.
fails getting off a cruise ship.
I mean,
So
you got off of it.
I got off.
It's
You're
just
going to get
leaving
off
it.
of it. Yes.
They will get you off of it.
Yes, they will throw you overboard to get you off of it. So we did book. So even though I am a parks guy, we didn't, but we have the 10% off. We will do another one sometime. When? Don't know.
Excellent.
Maybe with you. Maybe that'll be
Who
maybe.
knows?
So there you go. That's the cruise in a nutshell.
That's a big nut and a good shell.
Okay. Well, guys, if you want to take a Disney cruise, you're going to have to go to www.touringplans.com/travel. Click that Rope Drop Radio tab, and one of those amazing destination specialists would love to hook you up with a cruise. Doesn't have to be Disney. It could be Royal, Carnival. No, you don't want to
Norwegian.
take Carnival. I've done Carnival.
Yes.
Don't do that.
I mean, if
But
your shots are up to date.
I get you. There you go. Any of the cruise lines, you can absolutely do that, and be on the lookout for the new cruise podcast Doug's gonna be bringing out here in soon. And yeah, and be sure to leave a review. Help us get those numbers up, especially if you're from Canada. Thank you for the reviews, and thank you guys so much for listening. So for Doug, I'm Derek. This has been Rope Drop Radio DCL edition.